Okay, go ahead. Mazel tov to us on the amazing, beautiful accomplishment. Be'ezah Hashem, we should, like I said last night, at the moment that that number was reached, that we should be zoche to use every single shekel and dollar to bring nachat to HaKadosh Baruch Hu Bezel. Just to bring nachat to Hashem Yisbarach. All right, Chav, if you have the pages, let's go right into it. I have here some copies, Daf Shin Nun Zayin in the Sfarim. There's I have an extra sefer here too. Daf Shin Nun Zayin. We're continuing to learn Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh is sung in the entrance to Shabbos, and many also have the minute to sing it on Shal Shabbos as well. To whatever it is. And we started, I think it was a few weeks ago, because we wasn't shir last week, but we started learning Yarutz Avdecha Kamo Ayal. Remember, Dov, you sent me the picture of an Ayal? And today we're going to learn these beautiful words. Huh? Ibex. You can start calling him Ibex Jerome now. Yeah. He knows. So there's a short piece here, but just to give us a strong taste of going into Shabbos with some real kisufim, some real longing to feel like we're letting out what we want to let out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The words of Yedid Nefesh are absolutely incredible. The words that we're going to be speaking about today is Vasik yehemuna rachmecha v'chusana al ben ahuvecha ki ze kama nichsafti liros mehera b'seferet uzecha eilecham dalibi v'chusana ve'al tis'alam. It's a plea. Vasik, the ancient one, yehemuna rachmecha, have your rachmanis on us. V'chusana al ben ahuvecha, have compassion on your only child. Why? Ki ze kama nichsafti, because I've longed for you for so long. Lir'ot mehera betiferet uzecha, to see speedily in our times the glory of your strength. Eile chamda libi, this is what my heart really desires. V'chusana ve'al tisalam. Have Rachmanis and Hashem, don't, what's the point of the Shir today is this word really. Ve'al tit'alam.
Be hidden, don't conceal yourself.
Don't ignore. L'hit'alem. Don't ignore. Don't ignore. This is a cry from the deepest depths of any broken neshama that feels, Ribbono Shel Olam, sometimes you're ignoring me. Sometimes you're ignoring me. And this is a real plea. This is a real crying out from the deepest depths of the neshama. Ribbono Shel Olam, ve'al tit'alam. Bless you. Let's see how Rav Biederman brings this out. Yesh pirshu b'zeh. Dehin eksiv, it says, Lo tire et shor achicha o et seyo nidachim v'italamta mehem. Remember this pasuk? I think it's Parshat Ki Tetzeh, nachon? Where it says you shouldn't see the shor, the bull of your brother, or his seyo, his se, his sheep, nidachim, that have gone, astray. And you're fine. You could ignore it. You see your brother suffering, and you're able to ignore it, but you can't. B'darshu Chazal, the Gemara Baba Metzia says, "Shenabar b'lashon v'hit'alamta." The way it says, very interesting choosing of words here. V'hit'alamta, and you're meaning to say you're someone that's able to ignore when other things happen that really you shouldn't ignore. L'lamed shepamim shata mitalem mehem. Sometimes you do ignore it. Kegon zaken ve'eno lefi chvodo. Do you remember? This is a famous. I think it's Rashi brings this down over there. What does that mean over there? That you're able sometimes to ignore, like a zaken, like an old person that sees that there's this balagan over here. He's going to say, like, it's not on my cover to come and start helping a person like this over here. And then maybe the zaken can come to the conclusion, rightfully so, that saying, wait for someone else that has more koach to help someone catch his flock or catch his.
This is wild. I have a project up north on a nachala, like a big property, and my team showed up this week, and there was a cow in the backyard.
Yeah.
And they had to return it. So this is like.
Well, but so you could come to the conclusion and say, whatever. It's it's beneath my dignity, right?
I'm gonna show the video.
Now listen what he says here from Rabbi. This is amazing. Look what he says here from Rabbi Akiva Eiger. ואמר הגאון רבי עקיבא איגר, זכות יגן עלינו, כשהלך לבקר את אחד מקרוביו שהיה איש פשוט, he went to go visit one of his, I guess it seems, I can't tell here if it means relatives or someone that was close to him. I'm not sure what the reference is here. מה אתה חושב? לא ברור. Yeah, it's not so clear. He went to go visit someone that he was close to, but this person was a pashut man. And they came before Rabbi Akiva Eiger and said to him, v'tanu b'fanav, Shein ze lefi kvodo. Rabbi Akiva Eiger, this is beneath you. It's not coveted for you to have to go. Huh? Ken. Not family. Someone that, yes, I'm shaykhs to. So they told Rabbi Akiva Eiger, this is not from your covered. You're Rabbi Akiva Eiger. You're going to go and visit some ish pashut. It's beneath you. So then he says here, yesh mesaprim zot gam al hagaon, Reb Chaim Oizer. Reb Chaim Oizer Gudzinski. So whoever it was about, it doesn't matter right now. שלפי זה יש לומר לגבי החיוב לקרב את הקרובים. We also have this inyan to bring close those that are close to you, even if they're not on your level. הנלמד ממה שנאמר, like the pasuk says in Yeshaya, ומבשרך אל תתעלם. From your own flesh, don't ignore. You can't ignore your own flesh. And so there's all these drushes they're saying, if you have a body ailment, you can't ignore it. מבשרך אל תתעלם. But we learn it, no. Each one of us is our basar. You're part of my basar too. מבשרך אל תתעלם, שאפילו זקן ואינו לפי כבודו מחויב לקרבם. That even if you're an old person, and it's not accordance to your kavod, you're mechuyav to bring them closer. I just want to give a little bit of context. Okay, the Gemara there in Baba Metzia brings some examples of what would be considered a situation where you see an aveda, you see something that was lost, and you're able to lit alem mizeh. Right? So one of the examples is a Kohen that passes by a cemetery that sees an aveda, in a cemetery. So you could say, wait a second, there's a mitzvah v'shavas aveda, but obviously the kohen can afford to say, I'm going to litalem mizeh because I shouldn't be going in here, and someone else will eventually find this aveda, this lost object, and bring it back to the person. That's the type of thing the Gemara is discussing. There's a few other examples there as well. It's Bab Metzia and Lamed Aleph. They go into this whole sugi over there. Here what we're talking about, obviously, we're speaking about something that is not about Avedas per se, but it's more about seeing Yidden that you feel it's beneath your cover to go and spend time with them or reach out to them. One time, that's just a wild story. One time, I was in when I was living in Los Angeles, I was on the pier in Santa Monica, late at night one night, with a few friends, and I see this shliach going into a club. A Lubavitcher, he was a shliach. I knew who he was also. So he's going to this club. I'm like, come on, man, you know? And he walks out a little bit later with this woman. I'm thinking, oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And then he sees me, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, he's going to be so embarrassed right now, right? He says, huh? No, it was night. It was nighttime. After Shkia. So I said to him, I was, when someone sees you and you're embarrassed that they see you, not that you're embarrassed for yourself, you're embarrassed for them when they see you, so our eyes caught, right? And he sees me and he says, oh, Reb Shlomo, come here. I'm thinking, you have no... He says, come. And there's this is like 20-something years ago. There was this punk girl with so many different shades of colors in her hair, and the whole zach, right? But like really out there. He says, Shlomo, meet tzedakah. He says to me, I'll never forget this. Meet tzedakah. Like, is this kind of is there a candid camera here? Like, what's going on over here? And she was such a sweet neshama, this girl. I couldn't believe it. And afterwards he said to me, he said, her parents knew that. She left, she comes from the Lubavitch home. Bali Tshuva, parents are Lubavitch. And the girl's name was Tzedakah. And he went to go take tzedakah instead of giving tzedakah. He went to go take tzedakah because tzedakah was being given a little bit too much. So he came to take tzedakah, right? So the shliach can say, listen, it's beneath me. And for some people, listen, on the level of like what they're capable of doing, certain inyanim, obviously it's not for everybody. Like, not everyone's Rabbi Grossman that could walk into a discotheque, right, on a Friday night, v'chulei. But some people could say, it's beneath me to go and reach out to certain people. This is right. If every yid is mi besarcha, atalecho litalem, right? Mi besarcha al titalem. That's different than the halachic status that Abba Metzia is speaking about with the example of a kohen saying aveda na beis hakvaros. That's different. And alvai, we should feel like this about me, that every yidla is mi besareno. Mi besareno is a tikkun for this parsha. Mamish, this parsha is what it's all about. So the bottom of the right column, B'saracha al titalem, she'afilu zaken ve'eno lefi chvodo, mechuyav lekarvam. Sharei mikra mefurashu, it's a clear pasuk, al titalem. You can't ignore them. U'me'ata achat she'elanu otan nevakesh. Now we have a question. One thing to Hashem. Now let's go back inside the Yedid Nefesh. And this should be the kavanah for tonight. When we're in shul, we're singing this. Have rachmanis, have compassion on your children, and me included in it. And we'll see in a second how we are included in it. Ki ze kama nichsaf nichsafti. Nichsaf. What is nichsaf? Long. I've longed. Nichsaf nichsafti. Kisufim. I've had such kisufim to what? Liros besiferes uzecha. To really see the glory of your might and strength. Eli chamdas libi chusana ve'al tisalem sheme'achar. Since hineni ben ahuvecha. I call him, when I say chusana ben ahuvecha, I'm referring to me. Have compassion on the son that loves you. I love you, Hashem. I'm not running away from you. I love you. I feel like you're hiding. I feel like you're ignoring. So if I come before Hashem and I say, Sheme'achar shehineni ben ahuvecha, if I'm really your loving son, your loving child, so Rav Biderman says, Harei kiviyachol mechuyav HaKadosh Baruch Hu lachus ve'al tis'alam. You're mamish putting it on Hashem. You're making it. You're like obligating Hashem to basically say, "Oh yeah, you're from the Krovim. You're ben Ahuvi. I can't ignore you because you just put yourself into a certain category by saying that you're ben Ahuvecha." If you come to Hashem and saying, "Hashem, I'm yours. I'm your kid. I'm your child," and then I could say ve'al tit'alem because it sounds chutzpadik. Al tit'alem. Don't ignore me. But we're saying here, we know, Ribbono Shel Olam, you can't ignore. You're kiviyachol forcing Hashem to have to take care of you. And then he says, Ve'af im ein ze lefi kvodo shel Hashem yisbarach, and even if it's beneath your dignity, letapel bechadal ishim kamoni, that means to take care of such a nevach, of such a lo yitzlach, of such a yid that keeps on making promises and never fulfills any of them. Anyone know what that's like? So even if it's someone that's mamish beneath you, doesn't matter. Why? Ach karov shani. I'm a karov of yours. I'm a karov of yours. I put myself back in the mishpacha. Ben ahuvecha. So the Biderman says, wow, that seems like a great get out of jail system. Every time you feel that things are bad, you be like, wait, how's the things going to get better? I remember, I'll tell him, I'm his son, that'll work. It doesn't work like that. Because he brings a t'nai over here. Because there's other words we just said, we just didn't point it out. Omnam. Kol ze bitnai sheki ze kama nichsafti. That's the t'nai. The condition is, have there been examples in my life where I long for you? Have there been situations in my life, recent history, more previous history, ze lo mishaneh. Can I say about myself, I have had gagum, I've had kisufim. Ki ze kama nichsafti. I fell into the category, he says over here, shehu malet shuka ve'arga liskar ve'laber yisbarach shmai. That I've actually wanted so badly. I went to a shir because I wanted to have this kesher, and it wasn't working for me. I actually incorporated a chevrusa. I actually deleted that app. I did certain things, all different things that I thought were going to establish this kesher because I have such a longing to be close to Hashem, and it hasn't worked. It's not working for me. It's just not working. So the Rabbi Biderman says, if you could say, Ki ze kama nichsafti, then you could say to the Ribbono Shel Olam, ve'al tit'alem. Then you can't ignore me, because I've been trying, and I've been trying hard. B'diuk. It's the same thing. But the thing is, nichsafti is be'emes, exactly. Nichsafti falls under the category of be'emes. Let's be real for a second. What doesn't fall into the category of be'emes? What doesn't fall into the category of nichsafti? What do we think?
When you want something?
Yeah, when you just really want something to happen. When you just really want something to happen, and it's not so much about the kesher to the Ribbono Shel Olam, but you really want something to happen. You know God runs the world. You know that the way to do things right is to talk to Hashem about it. But it's really l'shem trying to get something.
It's like saying v'yitem for someone else. So when you say for someone else, you care for someone else, then Hashem gives you first. So I'm saying that's the...
Nachon. That's one of the... Nachon. Now, nichsafti has nothing to do with wanting anything other than liros meheira b'siferes zecha. That's a gewalt. That's really what I want. Now, let's think about this. What does it mean, lirot mehira b'tiferet zecha? We say it every single Shabbos, and everyone's chuckling at that moment, so you all have deep kavanas behind those words, right? So give me some of your kavanas. What do you think about when you say lirot mehira b'tiferet zecha?
I think about how...
Of course, Raziel, Amalek is going to...
Actually has kavana.
Yeah.
I think about how everything, like Tiferet, everything's harmonized, like everything that I see in this world that seems completely like opposite and doesn't make any sense.
Out of whack, yeah.
That it's completely in line with what Hashem wants, and that's what I want. So at least reveal it to me that I can see that.
You see, guys, you have another... No, you have a perush now for Amilim that you could have kavana during the Yedid Nefesh, yeah.
Well, I'm usually thinking, where are my kids? I told them to be in children.
Of course.
It's I think...
He has a daughter named Tiferet, so... Lirot meira b'Tiferet, where is she?
I think it sounds to me it's like the ultimate longing of like, Hashem, the story's pretty old.
The story's pretty old.
We've been longing very much to
Yeah.
see your Tiferet.
Nachon.
So
again, אומנם כל זה בתנאי שכי זה כמה נחשפתי שהוא מולד שוקה וערגה לזכר ולבר יזברך שמי, that I've had such a longing and a yearning to feel like I'm part of the Parsha Hashem, that I belong, ולא נתייאש עדיין ממצבו, and I still haven't given up on my situation, on my current status. וכפי שמודה כפל הלשון, and really ernst, real honesty, like nichsafti is like the double lashon means, and my longing for you was mamish longing for you. It wasn't about just wanting something. It's that I really longed for you. ועל דרך מה שדרשו, עזוב תעזוב ואפילו 100 פעמים, כך ומלא כיסופים בלא גבול. This is a lashon, this is a play on the words. You have in that parsha a lot of double lashons. עזוב תעזוב, פתוח תפתח es yadecha. So when something is said twice over here, like twice, Chazal have a lot of drashas on emphasizing a certain point. Nichsafti means my wanting you was for real, like the Kotzker Rebbe would always say. That your L'Shem Shamayim should be L'Shem Shamayim,
It's like Abraham. It's like
Right? It's also Moshe. There's a few... right, is it Yaakov? It's not Yitzchak. Noach is... It's a little bit different there. But the calling out was definitely Avram and Moshe. I thought it was one more. But anyway, this derech chiba that comes out is like, it means like, I'm really one with what I'm asking for. And it's really just about being in your presence and feeling like I'm part of the parsha. Why? Ki gadol kocha shel ishtokekus amitis, lalos veliros uliskarev lavodos yisborach shmei be'emes uvesamim. Rav Biderman is saying that the koach, the power of real ishtokekus, of real longing to go up and to see and to get close to being an Eved Hashem, for real, is what it's all about. Niflaim hema divrei Hashem Yishmuel. Amazing words come from the Shem Yishmuel, the Sachat Shover Rebbe, shekasav v'zeh leshona. And he writes like this: Hine kvod kedushas avi admor. He's talking about the Avnei Nezer. Amar she'im tiyel. He's talking about his father. She'im tiyel adam ishtokekut lavodat Hashem yitbarach. If a person has longing for the... Now, notice the words he says here. Not longing to feel Hashem. Not longing for things to work out. But what's the longing for? Avodat Hashem yitbarach. That the longing, if a person has a strong desire to serve Hashem, not that Hashem serves him, but the longing is that you want to actually be an Eved Hashem. That's what you're longing for. As ifshar sheyeh begehenom, then you won't end up. You can't. You just won't be in hell. V'im yeh shama arevu badavar, and if you end up being there, there's a guarantee. שהתשוקה ההיא תוציא אותו החוצה משם כחץ. This is beautiful. That if you do end up having to be in Gehenna for whatever the reasons were, according to your cheshbon, according to your tally, but you still have passion, the passion was real, that passion will get you out of a Gehenna like an arrow. You'll be shot out of there like an arrow. So, like mashma chaverim, what are we basically saying over here? This is the week of Yutas Kislev. It's the week of the Or of the Baal Shem Tov, the Or of the Baal Tanya, the Or of the Maggid of Mezrich. What is the light of Chassidus basically coming to develop within us? One word. What's that word? tshukah, passion. Because if you have passion, you'll eventually make it. If you don't have passion, it's not guaranteed that you'll eventually make it. Passion doesn't mean you're going to succeed when you try to do something right away, and not the second time, not the third time. But eventually, you'll get there. And eventually, and he says so much so, in the name of the Sochot of Rebbe, the Avnei Nezer, that even if you end up, Chalila, having to go to Gehenna because of all the mistakes that you made along the way of not getting it, if passion was part of the ingredients of how you served, how you attempted to serve Hashem, and how you led your life, that will also take you out of there. Not only passion when it comes to Friday night davening, chevra. Passion on a Friday morning. Passion on a Tuesday night. Passion. That the inyan is passion. U'b'makom oche, mevi kayotza b'zeh. And he brings in another place, the Shem Yishmuel, u'che'inyan she'yigid li kvod kedushat ha'admor zichr tzaddik kodesh livrocha v'chayil Abba, she'ish asher ha'tshukah shelo hi Torah and mitzvahs. If a person has a passion, and the passion is for Torah and mitzvahs, now, don't get confused. The inyan is not just to develop the sense of being passionate. Because you could be passionate about about what? Ice cream. You're being you're being wild there, Paul. You gotta whoa. Right. You guys didn't hang out in high school. What's that? So you say this is what
charity.
Ish asher hatshuka shelo hi Torah u'mitzvahs. If your passion was, I'm passionate to go and learn a shir, I'm passionate to open a sefer, I'm passionate to do a mitzvah, Efshar shered legehenom. It's just saying it the same, a little bit differently. Va'afilu im yered. Sorry, you don't have the chevra with the photocopies. Just 2 more lines here. Va'afilu im yered hineni arev be'ado. Now he took on. This is the Sochot of it taking on a guarantee. Hineni arev be'ado. I'm a guarantor. It says the Sochot of Rebbe. Sheyemaher ve'auf misham kechetz mikeshet ad kan l'shono. So that's just an amazing, this second Lashon is, much more, feels better, because the first Lashon, he's basically saying, there's a Masorah we have that'll be out of Gehenna. The second Chapi, the Tzachot Rebbe is saying, and I'm telling you, I'm a guarantor that if a person has passion, kind of like similar to what Rabbi Nachman said, right? Payas, pull you out of your payas from Gehenna. If you get to my tzion, you say the tikkun klali, you give tzedakah, and this is what people forget. You know that, like a lot of people forget this piece, right? Everyone knows that Rabbi Nachman said that if you come to the uman, you come to the tzion, and you say tikkun klali, and you put money in the pushka there, Rabbi Nachman is going to pull you out of Gehenna from your payas. You should just know that. I think I told this to you one time. The first time Rav Shlomo stayed in our house in Los Angeles, my parents had just met him. This is like mid-late 90s. And Rav Shlomo was mainly a Lubavitcher, but obviously he incorporated everything. And he had a very long beard and a big kippah. He actually wore a very big kippah. And in the morning, when he was davening in our house, so my parents, or my siblings, one of my siblings came into the dining room and saw someone from the back with long payas davening, and they got freaked out. Like, who is this guy? Because this didn't look like the person that walked into our house. Because he had very. Did you know this, Avi? He had very long payas. They were all tied under his yarmulke, but they're very long. So I said to him, I said, Shalom, a Lubavitcher with such payas? He's like, Reb Nachman says, he said to me, right? Reb Nachman says that, no matter how low you've fallen, so I'll pull you out of Gehenna from your payas if you, do this remedy. And he said, and I know how deep in there I'm gonna be, so that's why my payas are that long. Right? I'm sure it was like chetzi tzchok and chetzi retzini, chetzi retzini. But the last thing that's said in that tikkun for Rabbi Nachman is that you also have to do tshuva shlema. You have to become a real emes de Baal Tshuva. Not enough for a quick fix to go to a tzion and say kapitluch te'elim, v'zel ma pitom. So here, the guarantor here is very, very interesting. So just to chazer this again, two very important things. We'll just do this for today. Two very important things. One is that if I include myself as part of the krovim of Hashem, I believe in B'sarcha al tisalem, so Hashem can't ignore me. If I include myself and come before Hashem and saying, V'chusan al ben aovecha, have compassion on your son. So, but that can't be a quick fix either. So what's the inyan? What's the t'nai? Ki ze kama nichsaf nichsafti. Like I said, by Ribbono Shel Olam, you see, I've tried. I've really tried. I've really had a longing. I've really developed a passion that I've developed a sensitivity that when I'm around kedushah and I see people that are holding, if you want to say that, but in the real way, libi omer li ze ma shani rotzeh. Right? We develop that sensitivity that when you're exposed to such kedushah, that's really what you want, even if you have no idea how to get there. But you see that. Re'iyas pnei tzaddik. You see it. Like so many people came up to me this week and said that it was the first time they ever with Rav Weinberger live at that event on Monday night. And they said that they were just looking at him and discovering about themselves, they want something more out of life. They couldn't even explain to themselves what it was. It's mamish, like being around tzaddikim helps you develop a passion, but that passion has to then come and lead you to a place of coming to Hashem and saying and davening, V'chusan al ben aovecha, and not just rely on moments of passion. And then he brings this thing of the guarantor from the Shem Shmuel, from the Avnei Nezer, Shem Shmuel is quoting his father, that if you have that in life, you'll be okay. It'll eventually work out. In this world or in the next world, it'll eventually work out. But if there's no tshuka, if there's no passion, if there's no longing to want to be close to Hashem, or to discover what these emotions are when I'm around kedushah, then you can come to Hashem and say, V'chusan al ben aovecha. And Hashem will say, do we know each other? Anachnu mekirim? We know each other? Remember, this is similar to what we learned 2 weeks ago. Where they found this guy that was hiding out in the palace of the king, and then they asked him, "Who are you?" And he says, "Oh, I work for the king." Remember that story 2 weeks ago? And they brought him to the king, and the king looked at him and said, "Do I know you?" He's like, "Well, you really don't know me, but if I tell them that you don't know me, they'd kill me, and I just want to be close to you, so that's why I had to lie to get in here." And the king said, "If that's how badly he wants to be here, let him stay. If that's how badly he really desires to be here, let him stay." So B'ezrat Hashem, we should find ourselves under this category of V'chusan al ben aovecha, ki ze kama nichsaf nichsafti, and develop passion that leads to ma'aseh, passion that leads to action. Like we saw so beautifully in the last 36 hours, a lot of passion, and it led to a lot of action. And it's a big schus, it's a tremendous schus going into this Shabbos like this. And I want to say again, a big yeshar koach to everyone. It was an amazing, amazing experience, and we should be zocheh to be ambassador now. Now the real ambassador gig, gets refreshed. It's been going on for a while. We should be ambassadors of tshuka, ambassadors of passion. If that's the one thing we convey to the world, ashreinu matov chalkeinu. Good Shabbos, everyone.